Swashbucklers, you're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 117. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for telling your friends. Thanks for leaving reviews, all that kind of good stuff. I appreciate it. Without you, I'm talking to a wall, and that's no fun. It just really isn't. I've done it, and it's not a lot of fun, especially when they're padded. It becomes a real drag. My guest on the show today is Sarah Kampbell. She's the creator of the Pirate Booty Mega Puzzle Room. Man, say that 10 times fast. Pirate Booty Mega Puzzle Room. And that is an event that is taking place in Chicago, Illinois on Navy Pier, November 24th through 26th. And if you've ever done an escape room, she does escape rooms as well, but this Pirate Booty event is like a giant escape room, a puzzle room, in which there will be lots of groups of 8, up to like 300 people at a time, with pirates that you will interact with and puzzles that you will solve. It really sounds like a fun event. I wish I was going to be in Chicago that weekend. It's Thanksgiving weekend, but I will be here in California, so I will not be there. So anyway, we're going to talk about her puzzle room and escape rooms and all that kind of stuff. Something new we've not had on the show before. She's also an underwater archaeologist with a PhD in that. So we're going to dig into that part of her life a little bit too, because why wouldn't we? Yeah. We got a new sponsor for the show. That is TeePublic. And TeePublic is, they are a t-shirt company that works with independent artists to design shirts. They pay the artists when their designs are sold. They pay advertisers like me when the designs are sold. And I have personally selected a collection of over 100 super awesome pirate t-shirts that I think you would like. There's funny ones, there's scary ones, there's sexy ones, there's all kinds of really great pirate shirts on there, and I put them all in one place for you. And there's bound to be something you got to have in there. So go to underthecrossbones.com/shirt to see all the shirts that I've picked out for you. Again, that's underthecrossbones.com/shirt. So check that out. It's going to be great. I had a lame weekend. Kind of is an okay weekend. I caught a giant cold last Friday, which I was supposed to do 2 interviews that day, and both of them had to reschedule, thankfully. Otherwise, you'd have a couple hours of just listening to me sniffle into a mic coming up, and that is not anything that anybody wants to listen to. So spent the weekend beating the cold, doing a little cleaning up around the house. Went and saw Thor, finally. I miss things when I'm on the road traveling, doing gigs, but my girlfriend and I went and saw Thor. Very fun, very funny movie if you haven't seen it yet. But other than that, just been working, selling my guitar books online, lessismoreguitar.com. That's a thing if you want to go look at that. And so it was a mellow weekend. Almost done with Stranger Things. We're almost there. We've got an episode and a half left to go. Don't tell me what happens. I'll find out. I'll probably find out tonight before this even goes out. So there's that. But not to see it, I'm not just lazing around. I am hunting up gigs as well. I've been so busy with other things that I haven't had a chance to send out booking emails, and I realize that my performance schedule is getting very, very thin. There are places I'm coming up, though. November the 17th, that is this coming Friday, I will be at a pop-up show called Comedy Soup in Oakland, California. December the 1st, I'll be at the Ukiah Brewing Company in Ukiah, California. December the 8th, a place called the Courtyard in Andover, Minnesota. And December 9th, I will be at VIP Pizza in Superior, Wisconsin. Yes, jumping all over the country a little bit in the wintertime here. So if you want to find out more about tour dates, where I'm going to be near you, go to underthecrossbones.com, click on the tour dates button, and you can find out when I'm coming to tell jokes and sing songs in your neighborhood, which will be soon, because I'm hustling now for gigs, because I need... Light calendar, scary. I don't like to see an empty calendar. It scares me. It's not good. If you're enjoying the show, and I hope you are, come on, join us over on Facebook at facebook.com/underthecrossbones. On Twitter, we're at undercrossbones. And of course, make sure that you're subscribed to the show through Apple Podcasts or Google Play or, Spotify. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be up this week, but Spotify has approved the show. It was the last place you were not able to get Under the Crossbones. So it should be up in the next week or two. I'll let you know when that's a for sure. But it will be on Spotify in the next few days, finally. And then we will be everywhere that fine podcasts are sold, or not sold, because they're free. If you want to find out all the show notes and all the good stuff in this episode, go to underthecrossbones.com/117. If you would like to help support the show, that would be awesome of you. Go to underthecrossbones.com/support. Right there's a little PayPal box where you can drop a donation in there of any amount that you think is worthy. There's an Amazon banner there. Click on that Amazon banner. You're going out, getting ready to do all your holiday shopping, right? Click on the Amazon banner on the Under the Crossbones site. And then Amazon kicks me back a few shekels on whatever the nice things that you're buying for your family and friends. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, that is cheap and easy. Just hit me up from the support page, and I'll make it happen if you've got something that you think pirates would like. Again, that's underthecrossbones.com/support. So let's dig into this. We're going to talk puzzle rooms. We're going to talk escape rooms. We're going to talk underwater archaeology with the wonderful, adorable Sarah Campbell. Here we go. You are the owner of Vault Escape. Tell me a little bit about what Vault Escape is and what the Pirate Booty game is that you're putting on Thanksgiving weekend.
Sure, absolutely. Vault Escape is a puzzle escape game business, which a lot of people know about by now, but not everyone.
Yeah.
So you go with family, friends, coworkers, whatever, and you get locked into a room for 60 minutes, and you have to either unlock the door and escape, or defuse a bomb, or do whatever your room's theme calls for to finish the game.
Okay.
So I got a call a little over a year ago when someone said, "Can you take 200 people?" And I kind of laughed and said, "That's not a thing. Like, no escape rooms can do that." And then after we hung up, I thought about it, and I was like, why isn't that a thing? Let's make that a thing. And so I developed this team-building mobile game called Pirate Booty, and so I can bring it to customers for team building.
Okay.
So there's up to 300 people in the room, and they all have to work together. But I decided, because so many people wanted to play, but it's only for large groups, I decided, okay, I'm going to run it for the public at Navy Pier, and I'm going to change it a little bit. It's not team building anymore. People don't want to work with 300 strangers. So I've altered it to make it more like an escape room where you come with your team and you play with your team.
Okay.
But it's a little bit different because we have pirates that you have to interact with to get objects and answers that you need throughout the game. And so you have to figure out who you have to talk to and why and that kind of thing. But otherwise, yeah, it's like an escape game in the sense that you have to get through all of your puzzles to finally open the treasure chest at the end.
That sounds really fun. Is this this format of a puzzle room, is that not something that's happening right now? That is this a more of a creation of your own?
So the escape rooms it's a whole industry. They're everywhere. They're all over.
Right.
Doing it on the scale that I'm doing, I'm one of the first ones to do it. There is another company that has done these large style events.
Okay.
I'm the first one based in Chicago to do it.
Interesting. So I know about escape rooms. I haven't participated in one yet, but my girlfriend and I keep talking about it because they sound fun.
Well, go do it.
Yeah, we are. It's on the list for sure. But yeah, I've not really heard about these a large puzzle room like this before, which I think is pretty cool. So there's an element a little bit because you're interacting with characters, so there's an element of role playing involved along with the puzzles. Is that right?
Exactly. So we're trying to get you fully immersed in a room, and we can't put you on a ship. We can't give you that kind of immersion. So we're trying to get you to interact with pirates, people who are going to be in character, in dress, in speech. They're pirates, and trying to give you that extra immersion factor.
That's really cool. That sounds like a lot of fun, and I'm sure everybody listening to this show would be way into doing that. So why pirates? Why did you decide on that theme for this?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little more background than you probably anticipated.
Go for it.
I have a master's degree in underwater archaeology.
Ah, okay.
So that means, so I spent my summers for 7-10 years searching for shipwrecks.
Okay.
And I got my PhD in Byzantine history, focusing on the maritime aspect. Piracy was one of the major things that I was looking at, was how did that affect trade.
Okay.
So I got into pirates, and I'm into shipwrecks, and I'm into all of that. So it's not at all surprising that I developed a puzzle where you're shipwrecked and you need pirates to save you.
That totally makes sense. And I've had a few underwater archaeologists on the show, so that is always fascinating stuff. That we will come back to that in a minute because we're going to talk more about that. So the pirate theme does make sense. Have you designed other escape rooms and things before?
I have 4 complete escape rooms at my escape room business. I'm developing a 5th and a 6th one right now. And then after Pirate Booty has run, I will make another mega game just with a different theme.
Interesting. And so How does somebody with a PhD in underwater archaeology end up in an escape room business?
My son, my first child, was born sick, and I couldn't work, and so I stayed home with the kids. And then by the time the youngest was 2, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to get out, and couldn't go back to academics. And I did an escape room, and I said, "Wow, I like this. I can do this, but I can do it better."
Interesting. What was it about the one that you went to that made you think that you could do it better? What did you think that you could improve on?
I think everyone who plays an escape game walks away thinking, I would have changed this one thing to make it better. So I think everyone thinks, I can do it better. But, I was like, well, I could make it more immersive. I could make the set better designed. I know I could make puzzles that were more part of a story and not just solve a puzzle, but there was a reason for that puzzle being in the room. Keep it to theme and make it more of a story instead of just go into a room, solve a bunch of puzzles.
Okay, interesting. It's funny because that's the way a lot of people get into comedy, which is my business too, is they see a comic and they go, I could do better than that guy. So it's a common story over here too. So that's really neat. So when you design your first escape room, what kind of planning goes into an event like that? And yours are ongoing, I imagine, since you've got a business. But how does planning one of those things come together?
I come up with an idea. What do I think would be a fun theme? And then I think of a bunch of puzzles or ones that I've already thought of. Once you start thinking like an escape room designer, you don't stop.
Okay.
Like I went out to dinner with friends and there were wine bottles as decoration and I kept looking at them like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to solve the puzzle. And they're like, that's not a puzzle, that's decoration. So once you start thinking that way, everything becomes a puzzle. So you can come up with some pretty neat ideas. And I always try to come up with something no one's done. So in one of my rooms, you have to eat something. And, in some of my rooms, you have to smell things. You have to touch things. So it's a little bit different. I
have no idea because I haven't done one before. I don't know what any of the puzzles do. Can you give me an example of one puzzle and maybe how to solve it, since I won't be in your room anytime soon? Or just make one up. But give me an example of a puzzle that one might have to solve in a room or in the puzzle room for the pirate thing.
Sure. I'll tell you about one that we actually removed from the inheritance room. It was one of the first room that I built, and it was too hard, so I had to remove some of the puzzles so people could actually escape. And you opened a safe, and you found diamonds, and you had to figure out to shine a black light on the diamonds. And when you did that, you saw dots on the diamonds, and you had to figure out it was Braille, and there was Braille on the wall, and you had to go decode the Braille. And when you figured out what the diamond said, you had to use another clue that would take you to a map on the wall, and you would look at cities, and those cities had numbers next to them, and then you had to do a math problem, and that got you to a code.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was too long.
That's a difficult one. Now, are people allowed to have a smartphone in the room? Because I don't know how to read Braille.
So the answer is always in the room, always. Okay. Unless it's something that like everyone really should know. Like I think you should know like 1 + 2. I'm not going to put a calculator in the room for that.
Sure.
But if it's anything else, like we've removed a puzzle that involved prime numbers. So we had a dictionary that said what prime numbers were and listed a bunch of them. So the answer is always in the room.
So now what kind of challenges did you face in adapting that kind of system into this room where there's now going to be 300 people of various teams all sort of interacting with each other and the characters?
So that was really hard because I don't want you to open 700 boxes, but you can't have access to everything at the same time. Whereas, in a regular escape room, I can have a door you have to open to go into another room, or, there's a safe and there's a ton of boxes. But in a mobile game like this, where you can literally pick everything up and walk around with it, I had to limit your access to things without being like, okay, now open this box. Okay, now open this box. And the historian in me wouldn't let me put anything in as the best of my ability that would be historically inaccurate. So all the locks that are used are historically accurate. However, that makes them a little harder to clue for.
Okay.
So there are some things that aren't historically accurate. You are going to encounter a stuffed parrot. Wasn't going to shove a real parrot in everybody's box. I thought that might be going too far. But Yeah, so the issue with the mobility, things couldn't be too heavy because I move it around. They can't be too fragile, and they can't be too accessible. So that made it quite a challenge. There's quite a few things where I was like, this is great. And then I had people test it, and they'd like get up and walk away with it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not what I thought you were going to do. And my bad.
Yeah, I imagine there's always got to be, in the testing, there's always got to be a ton of stuff where people do things that you weren't expecting with it, which is what every technology company goes through and all that kind of stuff. What have been some of the stranger things you've seen people do?
Oh my gosh. So my introduction to my escape rooms, before I let you into the room, I let everyone know that there's nothing in the ceiling, nothing in the floor, nothing in the walls.
Okay.
And I always say, despite this, since I've been opened, people have ripped up the carpeting. They've punched holes in the wall. They've formed a human pyramid and gone up into the ceiling. And I used to have these like decorative sort of branches. Women know what I'm talking about. These like decorative branches you put in a vase.
Okay.
I had those in a room, and someone stuck one in an outlet and started a fire.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I'm always like, if you think you're being crazy, you are. You're definitely being crazy.
It's interesting because, I mean, just going into a room like that where you know that you have to be thinking outside of the box, you have to be in puzzle solving mode, that automatically turns on those circuits of, I don't know, maybe there is something in the ceiling, and if I jam this fork in a socket and the light, maybe a message will show up.
Exactly.
So it's understandable that people would attempt those things. Do you just add to your warnings list like constantly of, okay, it's not that?
It's actually pretty interesting. Once we got this down, these 4 things where we say, don't do something crazy. For the most part, people are pretty good now.
Okay.
Because they don't want to be the next warning. You don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
So that's helped a lot. We actually have ended up with less damage than other escape rooms, and I do think it's because I'm like, don't be crazy.
Really funny. You're doing the Pirate Booty game on Navy Pier. Where are you doing it on Navy Pier?
It's in Crystal Garden. Do you know where that is?
Vaguely. I'm sort of familiar with the place. Yeah.
Okay. So it's right at the entrance of Navy Pier, but it's really cool because it's full of plants. There's fountains, like water fountains, not like the drinking kind, but the beautiful decorative kind. So it looks like you are shipwrecked on a tropical island. I couldn't have asked for a better location. You can see the water. You're surrounded by tropical plants. It's really ideal.
That's great. That's great. I have, strangely, Chicago is one of my favorite cities in the world, and I have been there many times, and I've never really gone to Navy Pier. So I've viewed it from afar. I've visited the museums in the area, all that kind of stuff. But I spend much more time in Chicago looking for the local flavor. And for some reason, I've never made it to Navy Pier. So that has to be on my list now, too. When you're planning a much larger, and so did you go into this originally thinking of it as a company team building event or as a public event, as the team building stuff?
I 100% built it for team building and only have made these changes now that people keep asking for it.
Oh.
I want to play your game, but I don't have 60 people.
I see.
So I was like, all right, we'll open this to the public just this one time.
And so how big a group how small a group can people come in with to do it?
So if people want to come to Pirate Booty, they can sign up with just one ticket and join another team, or they can form a team of 8.
Oh, okay. And so every team will be a team of 8 in whatever combo.
If we fill all the seats. I'm kind of hoping ideally we won't, so that if there's a team of 6, they won't get paired with someone else. But if it does fill all the way up and sell out, then yes, people will be grouped to make teams of 8.
Okay. Is there an advantage in the puzzle solving outside of just having more brains at work to having a certain amount of people in the group?
There is actually, it is actually that brain aspect that everyone thinks in their own way. And so you need people who think differently. So when my husband and I play escape games, we never escape because we think exactly the same. So if I don't have the answer, he doesn't have the answer. So for us, we have to play with other people because we just can't do it together. And we'll have a lot of fun together, but we never escape.
Oh, that's interesting. So what is your long-term plan for either the regular escape rooms or the large puzzle rooms like this? You're going to be taking it to corporations, I expect, to do the team building stuff. Do you have a public plan for more of those as well?
Well, if Pirate Booty does well in Chicago. My plan is to take it around to major cities and also let other groups play, because I think it's a different way to play, and I think it's a fun way to play. It's sort of just a different take on a regular escape room. And then so if it does well, I'll do that. And I am going to make another one with a different theme to continue doing team building around here, because I've had a lot of teams say, "Oh, we loved it, but we've already done it." And I said, "Okay, I'll make a new one for next year." So I'll go ahead and do that for them.
Nice. And were you doing the pirate theme with the team building stuff?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they love it.
I'll bet. I know a lot of pirate entertainers who do a ton of corporate events, and it cracks me up. But because when you think of most corporations, you're like, yeah, pirates, that makes sense. So that sounds really fun. So everybody can get tickets for that at piratebootygame.com, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And there is a prize for everybody at the end.
Oh, cool. I forgot to ask about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little underwater archaeology. When did you get started in that?
It's funny. I've always wanted to do it. I don't even know how I heard about it. I have just always wanted to do it.
Okay.
And, my parents were like, that's ridiculous. So I went to college and I, got a bachelor's in anthropology, history, and computers, and got a job in IT. And after 2 years, I was like, I hate this. I just hate this. And I was like, that's it. I'm going to leave and I'm going to go get a degree in underwater archaeology. And everyone's like, in what? So it's interesting that you know what it is. And I loved it. And this was my thinking. You're going to get a giggle out of this. There are no jobs in underwater archaeology, so I'm going to get my PhD in Byzantine history. Because there aren't any more jobs there.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
Yep. So, yeah, it was pretty funny. I was like, why was that what I chose?
Yeah. I'm going to go get that old comparative literature degree. Yeah.
Exactly.
So then getting into that, so you get your degree in underwater archaeology. What were some of the first projects that you were working on?
I worked on the Uluburun shipwreck. Had already been excavated, but we were still cataloging all the items, researching all the items. So the Uluburun shipwreck was a Bronze Age shipwreck.
Okay.
Off of the coast of Turkey. So I worked on sort of museum stuff that way. Not actually underwater, but I also would do surveys off the coast of Cyprus.
Okay.
So we were looking for shipwrecks, and I have discovered everyone has that thing they are really good at. And unfortunately for me, that thing is finding shipwrecks.
Okay.
Because it's not a really very useful skill. But I'm very good at it.
So in finding the shipwrecks, is that you're out there on the boat taking measurements, doing surveys, that kind of stuff, and finding the wrecks that way, or are you more of the I don't want to say intuitive because that's a weird word, but from I don't know how to explain it, but going from other sorts of information.
I'm more the intuitive kind. It's kind of funny. I don't believe in any sort of like karma or spirits or anything like that, but we would be scuba diving and you just run, you do surveys where you swim a length and then you turn around and come back and you're just looking. And I'd be like, oh, there's, this amphora from the 3rd century BC. And I'd be like, I'm just going to go left. Like, I'm not supposed to, but I am just going to turn left right now. And then I'd find another one. And then I'd find 2 more. And then there'd be more. And I was like, it's this way. And I had no reason to turn. I just did. I don't know why.
That's interesting. So you're doing so you're doing a combination of underwater work and lab work then? Yes. Interesting. Do you have a favorite wreck that you worked on?
So I wrote my thesis on the Pantano Longarini shipwreck that was in Sicily. And I loved that one. I never got to see it though. It was excavated in the 70s and it actually disappeared. So I was just looking at other people's notes and working from that. But I spent 2 years at the Yenikapı Harbor in Istanbul, where they were going to put in a subway system, and they were digging, and they found a shipwreck, and then they found another one, and then they found another one. And by the time I left, they had 26 shipwrecks.
Oh my gosh!
And I don't know what it ended at. So
wow,
that was fun because you would just see everything, and you could see the rope intact. It was beautiful.
Wow, that's crazy. And did you retain some of the artifacts that you found?
No, I didn't. No? But my dad always wanted some, and so I found some cheap crap made in China, broke it, got it dirty, and gave it to him, was like, this is from Yanni Kappa.
He'll never know the difference. That's funny.
He'll never know.
That's really funny. That's really funny. So Pirate Booty Game is, I imagine that's going November 23 to 26. Does that sound about right?
24 to 26. Yeah.
24 to 26.
5 shows a day.
Okay.
Yep.
5 shows a day. Okay, great. So I will make sure that is all linked up on the show notes, piratebootygame.com. And what are the ticket prices to get in?
So they are $40 a ticket now, but I was going to run a promotion for your listeners if that was okay with you.
Absolutely, it is.
Okay, we'll use the code Crossbones let's do a 25% off.
Okay, great. I will make sure that gets in there as well. Well, great. Sarah, is there anything I forgot to ask you about that you want everybody to know about this or the archaeology or anything else?
I would love if people would come in costume, if they'd come as pirates. That would be so fun to have a room full of pirates.
Okay.
They don't have to, but I would love it.
Yeah, I know a few people who have pirate costumes, so yeah. Fantastic. Well, this sounds like a whole bunch of fun, and please do follow up with me after and let me know how it goes and what you're doing in the future.
Absolutely. And if you're ever back in Chicago, just let me know. And if you don't want to come all the way out to Riverside, I'm sure I can hook you up with tickets to somewhere downtown.
Love it. I love it. Thanks.
Thank you.
And there it is, friends. That is my interview with Sarah Campbell, creator of the Pirate Booty Mega Puzzle Room. And that's happening November 24th through the 26th on Navy Pier in Chicago, Illinois, which if you haven't been to Chicago, amazing, fantastic city. You should go anyway and check out the Pirate Booty game while you're there. And of course, if you're listening to this past the time that it's happening, Sarah has her regular escape rooms running all year long. So make sure that you go check those out. If you would like to get tickets for the Pirate Booty game, you can have 25% off of that. Go to piratebootygame.com. That's piratebootygame.com. Use the coupon code Crossbones and get 25% off your ticket. Very generous of Sarah to do that for us there. So if you're going to be near Chicago around Thanksgiving weekend, man, like if you're going there to visit family, maybe, and you're looking for something to do, take the family, solve some pirate puzzles, man. That'd be the way to go. We're sponsored today, of course, by Pirate Radio of the Treasure Coast, WKKC-DB, playing the best music in pirate radio talk. You can listen to Under the Crossbones on both of their stations. Just go to pirateradiooftheTreasureCoast.com or pirateradiotc.com. And don't forget to download their apps. That's the Pirate Radio Treasure Coast app for the music station and Pirate Radio Talk for their talk station. Speaking of stuff on the show, which we've been doing the whole time, if you have something cool that you would like to contribute to the show, a trip report, maybe you went to a cool festival, maybe you went to the Swashbucklers Ball last weekend, maybe you saw some cool pirate bands or something like that, you're working on a cool pirate project we should know about, you should let me know about it so I can play it on the show. Here's how you do that. You call my Under the Crossbones hotline at 408-599-2733. That's 408-599-2733. Tell me what you want to tell me, and if it's cool, I will play it on the show. And that is our show for today, friends. Thank you very much for tuning in. I always appreciate it. Be sure to come by the Facebook group, Under the Crossbones, on Facebook, and say hi. Leave us a little message there. Leave us a little review there. That would be great. My guest on the show today, Sarah Campbell, and the Pirate Booty Game. If you want to find out more about what she's up to, go to piratebootygame.com. And, of course, use that coupon code Crossbones and get 25% off your ticket for her event happening in Chicago on Navy Pier this November 24th through 26th, the Pirate Booty Puzzle Room. It's going to be great. Coming up on the show over the next couple weeks, we got great guests. We're going to hear from Corey Lefkowitz from Age of Discovery Productions. We're going to hear from Bullet Valmont from Imagine Pirates out of Los Angeles. And yes, Colin Woodard, the author of Republic of Pirates. You guys have been asking for him. I finally got him. It's in the can. It's ready to go. All right. Be good. Be good to each other. And listen to other good things besides this show. And I'll see you next week.